Hello everyone. This week I want to touch base on one of my favourite films, Back to the Future. A wonderful film series, and one that lives close to my heart. Although if time travel were real, I don't think we'd go forward, we'd go back. Back to the one moment we think could have saved us. Maybe it was a conversation we never had, a door we didn't walk through, a goodbye we never said. I'm Cruz, and this week's episode is called Back to the Past. I think we all imagine that if we could just fix that one thing, the whole map of our lives would redraw itself. Cleaner, kinder, easier to live inside. But that's the quiet lie of nostalgia, isn't it? It promises restoration, but it only ever offers replay. When I think of Back to the Future, I don't think of DeLoreans or lightning strikes. I think of Marty McFly, this kid who just wanted to make his family whole again, to rewrite his parents' story so they could finally be happy. And for a moment, it works. The clock hits 10:04, the car hits 88, and he outruns the laws of time itself. It feels like victory, but it isn't. Because the truth is, when you fix one fracture, another appears somewhere else. When you save one version of your life, you erase another that might have loved you more. We all have that wish, though, to step into the past and make it right. It's the most human form of science fiction. We don't need a time machine. We only need memory and regret. Sometimes I think that's what grief really is. A broken timeline we keep revisiting. We try to edit it, to patch the silence, to make the story end differently. But all we ever do is arrive back in the same place, and maybe that's what Back to the Future was really about all along. Not fixing time, but learning how to live inside its imperfections. I think that's why time feels heavier the older we get, because we start to see how much of it we've already rewritten in our minds. Not with machines, but with meaning. Every memory becomes a small edit, a line we soften, a moment we reframe to survive it. And somewhere between truth and revision, we build a version of ourselves we can live with. But there's a cost to constant revision. Each time we reimagine the past, we trade a little bit of its honesty for comfort. We start to forget the raw edges, the parts that actually shaped us. I think that's why grief keeps looping. It isn't just sadness, it's maintenance. We keep the moment alive by replaying it, even if it hurts, because we're terrified of what forgetting might mean. When I'm crafting Zeph's story, her need to fix the fracture, to bend time until it behaves, I recognize that same ache. It isn't about power, it's about forgiveness. She's not trying to change what happened, she's trying to make peace with the version of herself who believed she could. That's the real paradox of time travel. Not that we can't go back, but that we keep trying anyway, even knowing it won't work. Because hope, in its purest form, is the desire to rewrite the impossible. And love is what makes us try. Grief has a strange way of teaching us time travel. It turns memory into a vehicle, a way to visit moments we can't bear to let go of. We replay the same scenes, the last words, the last look, the last quiet, ordinary day before everything changed. And in that repetition, we start to build our own DeLoreans, not out of steel and flux capacitors, but out of longing. We drive them through our minds, hoping that maybe this time will arrive early enough to stop it all from happening. But grief is clever. It always hides the truth in plain sight. Because when we go back, we don't change the outcome. We just lose the present in the process. I think about how Marty returns home at the end of Back to the Future, to a life that's brighter, repaired, fulfilled. But in the real world, there is no perfect return. We carry our ghosts forward with us. They live between the seconds, in the pauses before sleep, in the songs that sound like yesterday. Sometimes I wonder if that's what love itself really is. The refusal to let time erase someone completely. A rebellion against oblivion. We don't move on, we move with. And maybe that's why the past calls so loudly, because it remembers how it felt to be whole, before the fractures, before the rewrites, before the clock struck 10:04 and everything changed. Nostalgia is the most beautiful kind of heartbreak. It lets us visit the moments that made us, but only as guests. It's why we replay old songs, rewatch the movies that once made us believe, not to escape the present, but to remind ourselves that we felt something once, and that we're still capable of feeling it now. The Zepherous Chronicles was born from that same ache. Every page, every timeline, every fractured moment, a way of reaching back through the noise, to relive the pieces of a life I didn't want to lose. Zeph isn't just travelling through time, she's wandering through memory, through the ghosts of laughter, the fragments of her mother's voice, the echo of what she almost became. And in that sense, maybe we all have a Zeph inside us, the part that still believes if we could just find the right moment, the right line, the right light breaking through the storm, we could make peace with everything that came before. But peace doesn't live in the past. It waits in the act of remembering, without needing to return. It's the moment we stop trying to fix time and start forgiving ourselves for being shaped by it. Because the truth is, we were never meant to go back to the past. We were meant to remember it, so we'd know how to move forward. There's one scene in particular near the end of Back to the Future that always gets me. Marty has made it home, or so he thinks, but something feels unfinished, so he races back again, this time to save Doc from being shot, to rewrite the part of history that hurt him most. He does everything right. He gets there early, he runs through the streets, desperate, but it doesn't change a thing. The bullets still fly, and Doc still falls. And for one unbearable second, Marty realizes that even when you know the past by heart, you still can't stop it from happening. But then Doc sits up. He's alive, because a version of Marty, the one who already lived this moment, had given him the letter, and Doc had secretly read it after all. It wasn't the new Marty who saved him. It was the memory of the old one. That moment always feels like forgiveness in motion, the past quietly healing itself, not through control, but through love. And I think that's what healing really looks like. Not going back to fix the wound of the past, but realizing the person we once were already planted the seed that would save us later. When I write Zeph, I think about that scene, how she keeps returning to the fractures in her story, believing she has to rescue the girl she used to be. But what she doesn't see, what most of us don't, is that every act of trying to save our past is really the past trying to save us, with the small echoes we left ourselves to listen to along the way. Sometimes the only way back to the future is by trusting that somewhere, in some version of ourselves, we already made it there. Marty had his DeLorean, Zeph has her watch, and me? I have my stories, my universe, and the words of one of the wisest time-traveling docs I know. Your future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one. Please check out your favourite bookstores worldwide for my book, The Zepherous Chronicles Rebirth. The second book, Cantera, is coming soon. This is Z and Cruz, reminding you to stay close to the echo. Bye for now.